Okay guys, that last video went a little fast and it got cut off at the end, but this is the outcome. So you do your primaries first, then you do your secondaries, and you do your tertiaries, and then you're going to make each one of those. You're going to add white to tint it and a little bit of black. You need very, very little black. I'm talking like microscopic amounts of black to darken this. Okay, otherwise it's going to be really, really dark. Okay, so that's what that kind of looks like. Now, knowing that we have our color wheel, we're going to play around to create brown. If you remember, I talked about if people go to the art store and they buy brown, that's just crazy because brown is the easiest color to make. It's what happens when you mess up and you add too many colors together, it will eventually turn brown. So if you mix complementary colors together, and we're going to play around with doing that with 3 of them, red, yellow, and blue, which are our primary colors, right? We're going to find what the complements are for each one of them. So if you see red on your color wheel and you look at what's directly across from it is green. So the complement to red is green. If you look at yellow and you look at what's directly across from it, it's purple. And if you look at blue and what's directly across from it, it's orange. Okay, so we are going to make those. Now, red is easy. It comes right out of it red already, but to get green, we have to mix yellow and blue together. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a little bit of blue, and I'm just using the lids here. You have enough paint in the lid because honestly, you don't need as much color as you think. You have enough color in the lid to make what you need. I already had a little blob of yellow over here that fell. So I'm just going to kind of add my blue to that until I get a nice green. That looks pretty good. Okay, so nice little green color. Now we need to add equal parts of red and green, supposedly. I don't know that it's really equal. I don't know if I believe in all that, but we're just going to add little bits until we figure it out. Now look how much I'm adding. Just a little tiny bit, right? Because we don't have a lot of paint in this on our palette here. So red and green, that made an interesting color brown, right? Now, if we wanted to tint it, add a little white to it, right? Makes kind of a lighter brown. And if we wanted to shade it, we would add some black to it, right? So I'm just taking little bits. So you're going to play around with it. You're going to do the regular one, the tint, and the shade, okay? Then we're going to rinse our brush and wipe it off with our paper towel, right? Get all the water out of it. If you have too much water, it's going to really make this paint too thin, and we don't want that. Okay, so yellow, we know we have yellow right here. It's already comes that way. What we want to do is make our purple first. Let me see if I can scoot this over. Scoot all of this over. So to make purple, we're going to take our red and we're going to take our blue. And it should theoretically be equal parts. Ooh, that's pretty. That made a really nice purple. I think it looks too red. I'm going to add a little bit of blue. There we go. Now that's looking like a deep, rich purple. Let's see if I can turn the light on this thing. Right? So we're going to take purple and yellow. We already have purple on our brush. So let's just go over to the lid and get the yellow and let's put it right next to it. Mix it around. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I feel like maybe we need a little more yellow. The purple is so dark that you need a lot more of the lighter color. So let's see. I think that looks too purple still. So let's just take some yellow and we'll try to mix it together right on the paper. Okay, do you see how it's making a much different color brown than the one before? So you can mix on your palette, you can mix on the paper. It's a totally different kind of brown, right? It's a much warmer brown. So now I want to add some white to it, so I'm just going to take a little white from my lid here, and I'm going to just kind of blend it in. Now you can really kind of see, it's a good color brown for skin tones. I prefer yellow and purple for my skin tone colors. And now we're going to add a little black. And I'm kind of like rolling the brush to get some of the color out of the sides. Right? And so now you can see the shaded one, right? I prefer yellow and purple for skin tones. As you can see, the yellow and green, it's a totally different kind of brown. Now let's say you were making, I'm rinsing my brush out now. Let's say you're making a bear or an animal that's mostly brown, but you're going to need a bunch of varying tones of it, right? You need a super dark one, you need a light one, you need a medium, just so you can get all those highlights and lowlights. So, okay, now we're going to do blue and orange. Blue is already made, so we're going to make orange with our yellow and our red. Remember, always start with the lighter color, right? So I'm going to put some yellow here, and I'm going to add a little bit of red until it gets to the orange that I want. Doesn't take much of the red. It's making a pretty good orange. All right, that's definitely orange. Okay, so now we're going to add a little blue. This is such a light color, we don't need much blue. You're not doing equal parts here. So if you can kind of see how much blue I'm getting, maybe like about that much, okay? And I don't even know if I'm going to use all that. I'm going to put some over here and start mixing it in. And I can pull it. And I'm kind of rolling my brush to get that paint out of it. And you can see it's turning to a nice light brown, right? So this has yellow and red in it, so it's a much warmer brown. Now, if we wanted to play around and add a little white, grab a little white and add that in there. Kind of a poopy color brown, right? And then add a little bit of black. You don't need much. I think I got way too much on there. And we're just going to kind of mix it right on the paper. Right? So that, my friends, is step 3. So when I see people go into the store and they're buying brown, I think it's totally ridiculous. You can make 9 different colors of brown just from your primary colors alone. Not to mention we could make them out of the tertiaries if we wanted to. We could take blue-green and mix yellow-orange. So whatever you have on hand, right? But the straightforward way is just use your primary colors and whatever the complements are to your primaries. These are your primaries, right? And these are the complements. These are the primaries. Okay? That's all I want you to do for this one. And we will see you on the next one.